Look at that. This car is smiling. And you know what? The Miata will make you smile too. So let's find out what this car is all about. The Miatas have been around for a long time, and with each generation, the Miata keeps getting better and better. This is a 2019 Mazda Miata RF Coupe, and with this fastback design, it's so gorgeous. It has supercar looks to it. It's got an almost exotic feel, and this is the kind of car that when you see it pull up, you'll definitely take a second glance. This is really a fantastic design. The proportions, the lines on this car, the way the rear end bulges out in line with this sloping fastback design in the rear. The RF Coupe, this retractable fastback, is definitely more expensive than a convertible regular soft top. In my opinion, this is worth it just because of what it does to the looks of the car. The Miata was never a bad looking car, but this is by far one of the best looking cars out on the road today. As good as the car looks on the outside, especially with this color, the real magic happens when you get in. Now this car is a snug fit. I'm 5'10", and I would say for me this car fits perfectly. But if you're any taller, let's say 6 feet or taller than that, this could be fairly cramped and a bit uncomfortable of a space to be in. So definitely test drive this car if you're bigger, just to see if this would even fit. With most cars, you can just get in and be fine, but this you have to treat like a pair of jeans or a shirt. You might want to try it on before you buy it. Inside the car, it's for 2 people only. Everything's pushed back. This is about as much space as you'll get, and it's very functional. Everything in here has a purpose. There's nothing in here that a driver wouldn't need, so you can tell that everything was built with the thought of weight in mind. Anything that doesn't have a purpose does not need to be in this car, which is why the car can be as light as it is. And everything on the inside is very well put together. There's this red stitching everywhere on the seats, on the dash. Having this body color on the door panel is a really good touch, but there is a downside though. When it gets really hot outside, you'll get burned. This can get pretty hot. The cup holders back here are actually a pretty good idea because if you rest your elbow and you're shifting, there's no place to put a cup holder anywhere up here on the center console, but back here, it's out of the way. So I think this was a very thoughtful design. Although a passenger can technically fit in this car and sit here, they're not going to be comfortable, especially if they have a big water bottle that they have to deal with and a cup holder right near the leg. And as a passenger, it feels very tight and confined, which is not the case with the driver. Even though the spaces are roughly the same, it just feels better in the driver's seat than the passenger seat. I can't see a lot of passengers being happy sitting right here. This power operation of the roof going up and down is really convenient, so let me show you how that works. The one cool design feature is as you close and open the roof, you can see it on the dash and monitor the operation. And the graphic here matches what's happening with the roof. I can also open and close the roof while I'm driving, but the catch is I have to be under 6 miles an hour. But let's try. Now, one weird thing that happens is if you happen to go above 6 miles an hour while you're opening the roof, it'll just get stuck. Let me demonstrate. I don't think I want to drive around like this. This 2019 Mazda Miata RF Coupe is an absolute blast. And this is the most connected car in the world. And I don't mean connected in the sense of connected to technology or the internet, which Obviously, this one is not. But this is the car that really engages the driver and connects you as a driver to the road, where you get every single last input from the Miata and the road through the steering wheel transmitted, and you know exactly what's going on. You just have this sense of hyper awareness, and there's no surprises. Like, you are as raw and exposed as it gets, but all of it in a good way. It's such a huge departure from any other car, where, especially these days, where you're totally insulated from the road. There's so much comfort, so much technology. You don't know anything that's going on. You have this complete sense of disengagement. That is so not the case with the Miata. It's the absolute complete opposite. All the bumps on the road and everything that's going on around you, you are completely aware of it. And you can also take action. You can react quickly, and the car responds. It's light, it's nimble, it's agile, and it's such a light car, and the steering feel is so good that you just point in the direction you want to go, and it does it immediately with no lag or anything like that. It's not a surprise that the Miata is so loved and so revered, and it has been over the decades that it's been around. And this is a car you cannot get an automatic transmission in, because that'll absolutely kill the experience. Like, this has to be a manual with a stick. And the manual transmission in this car is so good. It's one of the best, and it makes it very easy to shift gears. Like, if you've never driven a manual before, this is the car to learn it in, because it's so simple. You'll probably learn it very, very quickly, and you'll get all of the enjoyment out of the manual transmission from this car, because it just has it so finely tuned to the driver's needs. And with each generation, the car just keeps getting better and better. And this Miata is such an excellent driver's car, and it shifts so great, and there's so much satisfaction that comes out of being able to shift this gear lever and the clutch and the way it engages with the transmission. Like, everything is spot on. One of the really nice things about the Miata is you don't have to go to jail or break the law and go twice the speed limit to have fun. You can have fun in this car by being well under the speed limit. Just going from a stoplight to 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, that's fun, and you're already shifting through gears. It's not like just in first gear you're all the way up to 60 or 70 miles an hour. Like, there's a sensation of speed that happens at low speeds. So at any speed in city driving, no matter what kind of driving you're doing, this is the car that you can have fun in throughout that entire range. There's such a smooth power delivery. Whether you're at 3,000 RPM or 5,000 RPM, it's completely linear. There's no surprises. You know exactly what you're getting out of this car. It's highly predictable. And some people think that this could use a lot more power, which you could argue that it could be faster, but I would say that because it's such a raw feeling in here, that even at low speeds, you're getting a lot of excitement. 30 miles per hour in this car is probably 50 miles or 60 miles an hour or something else, just because you're so aware of the speed. So I think the 181 horsepower that this car has is perfectly fine, because it's not like the straight line speed on this car is what this is about. It's the engagement and the excitement you feel just being able to go at normal speeds. And more than going in a straight line, this is the car that you want to take through winding roads, through twisties. If you want to go from point A to point B, the thing that you want to do with this car is find the longest way there on the windiest, most exciting road you can find, and take a lot of turns, because that's the thrill that this car provides, is the sharp steering, the predictable turning, no body roll. It stays glued to the ground, and it's so low to the ground. I don't do a lot of track days, but every time I talk to people about track days, the first thing that they say is do it in a Miata. This is renowned for being the ultimate car for track days, for racing, especially for people that are at the beginner levels. And although I haven't driven a Miata on a track, I can completely see why, because this can be so much fun on a track. But you don't even have to be on a track. You can be on regular roads and have just as much fun because that's just how this car is set up. And the nice thing is you don't have to ring it out at 7,000 RPM to have fun. Even at low RPMs, like if you shift to 3,000 or 4,000 RPM, you'll still enjoy the driving experience. But if you can't shift it up and you do ring it out like this, it's guaranteed to put a smile on your face. So much fun, this thing. The fact that you can make a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and inject this much fun into driving is just something that the Miata has perfected, and other car manufacturers can't really even replicate what this can do. This is a car that can absolutely relieve some stress. If you're having a rough day or you just need to get away and clear your head, this is the car to do it in. It's like therapy. It can be your stress relief. Even if you have to go run an errand, just find the windiest, most fun road you can find to get there. Guaranteed to wipe the stress away from your life. Now, one thing with this RF Coupe that is a downside but completely livable and not altogether that bad is there's a blind spot here because this rear 3/4 panel, it's not a window, it's just a hard plastic, and so you can't see real good. You have to turn your head, and luckily in the mirror there's a blind spot detection, so it helps. But even a small car like this where you do have pretty good visibility overall, that blind spot does get in the way. One feature this car has is when you're veering off the lane, instead of the steering wheel shaking, it has this buzzing sound in the cabin, which actually is even better because you just hear it, and you can even feel it if you set the setting on high. So that lane detection system, I think, works even better. With the top down, of course, you're just getting that much more fun. I talked about this car being raw and feeling exposed. Now you're 100% in the elements and really soaking it all in. Oh, top down is the way to drive this car, except when it's 100 degrees outside, but not that big of a deal. Oh man, that sounds good. I wasn't kidding when I said that this was true stress relief. I can't imagine anything being more mind clearing than this. Put the top down and let all the stress go outside. This is such a fun car to drive. In fact, I'm not even done driving yet, so I'm gonna go drive some more. But if you're looking for something that's going to give you tons of fun and literally put a smile on your face each time you get into it and drive, the Miata is the answer. You know, it always has been the answer, and it still is. So for now, I'm going to say bye, and I'm going to go drive some more. See ya.